Alright, starting lesson 7.8, factoring polynomials completely. Factoring by grouping. Now we used the big X with grouping method in previous lessons. Here we're just going to be using grouping, so this lesson should be much more simple. Factor each polynomial by grouping. So we group the first two terms and the last two. And just a little note, all the terms should be in descending order before you start grouping. Out of the first group, I could factor out an x squared, leave me with x plus 3. Out of the second group, I could factor out a 2, leaving me with x plus 3. Now I have two terms here, and they share a common factor of x plus 3, so we'll factor that out. What am I left with? X squared plus 2. Done. Alright, next one. So this one's a little different from what we're used to. I'm going to group the first two and group the last two because we're working with nothing but variables here. I can't factor anything out of the first group. I could factor something out of the second group. And then I have a factor out of x. And I'm left with 1 plus y. Okay, now we don't have a common factor, so that approach did not work. So there's something else we could do. Let's see, I could reorder the terms. Let's see if I do this. Will the grouping method work? Okay, so that doesn't work. Let's group again. Left with x times x plus 1 plus y times 1 plus x. Okay, cool. Well, x plus 1 and 1 plus x are the same thing. So I'm going to factor out x plus 1, and what am I left with? X plus y. Done. Alright, factoring completely. Okay. Now, before we apply any of the methods you've learned, let's see if we could find a greatest common factor. Let's see, 3, 6, and 18. What's the biggest number that goes into all three of those numbers? That'll be 3. I have 3 x's, 2 x's, and 1 x. If I want to pull out an equal amount of x's out of each term, how many can I pull out? 1. Okay, what am I left over with? X squared plus 2x minus 6. Okay, now here I have a quadratic trinomial of this form, where a equals 1. Okay, so I'm going to use the big X method. Find two numbers that add up to 2, multiply to give me negative 6. Those would be, there are two numbers that work. So big X method does not work in this case, and that means it's unfactorable. So that's our answer. Done. All right, going to part B. I have 7 and 28. What can I factor out? 7, I have 4 x's, I have 2 x's here. I'm going to factor out 2 x's, leaving me with x squared minus 4. All right, notice this is a square. I could rewrite this as a square, and it's a difference. So I have a difference of squares. So I have 7x squared times x minus 2 times x plus 2. Done. Alright, solving an equation by factoring completely. Okay. First thing you want to do when you're solving an equation is push one side to 0. So let me bring that 10x over, and I get 2x to the third power plus 8x squared minus 10x is equal to 0. Alright, so I have 2, 8, and 10. I'm going to factor out a 2. I have 3 x's, 2 x's, and 1 x. I could pull out at most 1 x. So what am I left with? X squared plus 4x minus 5. Okay, can I factor this using the big X method? Two numbers that add up to 4 but multiply to give you negative 5. That'll be negative 1 and 5. Cool. So I have 2x, and then this factors into x minus 1 times x plus 5. All right, so just bringing your knowledge of all the factoring methods together in this lesson. If you have any questions, if you need any clarification, please make sure to ask for help. Begin the assignment at the bottom of the page.